The DLR, or Docklands Light Railway, is famous for being the first completely automatic metro line in the UK. It was originally part of the Docklands redevelopment plan. Since the Thames was no longer large enough to carry large container ships, the area around the docks it had in London became pretty much useless, and interest in the Docklands quickly declined. Thus, it was decided in the 1970s that London was too cramped and we needed more space. The Docklands looked like an attractive place to repurpose, but to make it attractive for business to come in, it needed good transport links. However, the whole rail network of the area had pretty much been abandoned because it became useless with the decline of the docks. So, planners decided to use the abandoned track alignments for the new railway. Light rail, modern light rail, was chosen for this job. This was because it was much cheaper than a fully fledged tube line and was adapted to tight stop spacings and tight curves. Because using abandoned tracks alignments meant the new railway would have full grade separation, it was chosen to use automatic trains. This was inspired by the recently opened SkyTrain in Vancouver, Western Canada. If you want to share a video on the SkyTrain, just tell me down in the comments below. So let's go back to the video. Like on the SkyTrain, automatic trains would operate the services. Although in a somewhat unusual move, these trains would be articulated and pretty short at just 2 cars in length. Today, the trains are either 2 or 3 cars in length, but usually work by 3 or by pair to form a 6-car set. The depot to maintain these trains was originally located at Poplar, which is why the serial numbers of the first trains started with the letter P. Because the depot is now at Beckton, the serial number of the newest trains start with B. Now, let's talk about the network topology and how services are operated. Even though the DLR is a true network, it isn't really divided into lines to avoid confusion with the tube lines, but rather the network has a complex service pattern with many different services possible. And this is another thing which makes the DLR unusual, because instead of doing the usual thing and only operating a few key services, it operates a lot of less frequent services. This approach is quite unique but works quite well because it means you can keep a good frequency on your key corridors. Services on Tramlink are actually operated in a similar way. So, thanks a lot for watching, and again, if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, like and share the video. I'll see you next time.